Is it easier to fix a story in the beginning or just write a proper story rather than fix it later on?
It's much easier to fix in the beginning. Yeah, it's much easier. That's why I encourage people to get involved with me or a script consultant as early as possible. You know, bring me in the story breaking process. I have longtime clients who view me as a coach, really. When they have a new idea, as soon as they get the idea, they'll call me up to make an appointment. And they're like, I want to, you know, maybe they're writing something else, but this other story's kind of new, you know, bugging them. And they want to like get a handle on it and figure out the story nutshell. And they can set it aside and then they can focus on the story they're supposed to be writing. But it's much easier to start to try to get a handle on that early on. We could do it later, and lots of people do that way. A lot of people, you know, bring me in after they've written a script. It's a first draft, or maybe it's a few drafts in. It's just going to be, and we can fix it. It's just going to be harder, you know. You get a little more attached to your babies, right? And you're a little less willing to throw things out if you get the feedback of like, oh, this whole second act you went in the wrong direction. You know, can be a tough pill to swallow sometimes, that you're gonna have to almost go back to the drawing board, right? So it's just easier to have someone working with you who is thinking about story from an outside perspective, and can help you before you've started getting invested in creating and gotten into the world and you're creating scenes. And all these moments that may or may not actually work because you didn't really think through what the flaw was, and that's going to change everything and make you have to rewrite the whole thing.
So do you advise people sometimes take the same idea and just start from page one? Like just take that script, put it somewhere, you love the idea, whatever, you love the protagonist, let's start over from the beginning.
That's a painful thing to tell people, right? I think more common is that they have some good bones maybe in the first act, and then it kind of derailed. I think is what I see, you know what I mean? Because that they have a sense of the character, and they have maybe an interesting point of no return that's going to begin the main story, but then I'm suggesting some major changes in kind of almost, putting aside your act 2 and act 3. That's a little more typical than a page 1. Because if they've gone through writing it, even if the draft isn't working, it is about exploring story. It is about them exploring the character, and it's not likely that they created nothing of worth along the 120 pages that they wrote. So that's why it would be a little unusual for me to say, yeah, just throw out the whole thing. Let's go back to page 1. It's more like you started it and it derailed. Is a little bit more typical what I see.